How that full moon hit y'all Monday. Right now it's looking crazy looking outside. If y'all go look at the moon, it's like orange looking. I tried to take a picture of it, but it didn't really get a good picture. Well, the moon's in Leo right now. Um, so I'll give you like a little description how to treat the moon and while it's in Leo. You feel safe in moments when you can express others and get praise and admiration. Yet when you get into the spotlight, you may feel yourself at a loss. Maybe you should admit your fear of criticism and your inability to accept criticism. It is a very important to accept feedback and use it for improvement. And it goes on to say this website that I use for the moon is called mooncalendarastrosec.com. I can link a description down below after I finish this video. All right, beautiful. So I'm gonna be going over the moon today or tonight or where I don't know what time it is where you're at, but um the different phases of the moon, what the moon is, her feminine aspect, how you can use the moon's energy for manifestation, how you could use it for your magical abilities and to tune up some stuff, make moon water, purify your crystals, stuff like that. So I'm gonna do a little singing bowl real quick before I go into it, just so I can feel feel vibrated, tune my frequency. Oh, and yeah, I just started checking out The Witcher. I don't know if y'all haven't watched it yet, but it's pretty badass if y'all are into the magic and all that kind of stuff. Monsters and wizards and witches and stuff. All right. Had to get toony real quick, you know. So, where the sun where the sun is seen as a masculine or fatherly energy to the earth, the moon is seen as a feminine or material counterpart watching over us. Her influences upon the planet are simultaneously sub- subtle and yet deeply and powerfully supportive. For instance, the gravitational pull that the moon creates with its proximity to the Earth creates the necessary tilt that brings stability to the seasons and the changes of the ocean tides. A beautiful paradox of the moon is that although she is bringer of flux and constant change, she is ultimately one of the most profoundly stabilizing forces around us because her growth is consistent and predictable. One of the most valuable lessons we learn in life is that change is ever present and nothing will ever stay the same, yet everything in life moves in repetitive cycles of birth, growth, fruition, decline, decay, death, and rebirth. The moon is the eye and mirror in the sky at night, which is always reminding us of this and helping us align ourselves with the beauty and rhythm of this truth. The moon is a feminine celestial body and relates deeply to feminine energies of intuitive receptivity. Where masculine solar energy creates a push towards its goal, feminine lunar energy creates a magnetic pull, precisely like what we see with the ocean's tides. The moon is the mirror of the sun. She has no true light of her own, yet she acts as a lesser mirror to the sun's magnificence. By reflecting its light on her pale surface, it's astrology where the sun sign expresses how we direct our life force in outer world. The moon expresses how we respond to our inner world. The moon is about emotions, the internal flow of our moods, our receptive nature, and take things in and formulates emotional realities. The moon directs our instinctive reactions and determines what we feel we need to be safe and have a sense of security in the world. In this way, it shares a deep relationship with the astrological sign of Cancer, which rules. And I love the moon. I'm a Cancer. I had a pretty deep experience on the full moon. We did a ancestor ceremony, and I connected with my ancestors, and I had a pretty deep experience. Maybe I'll share it one day. Um, but yeah, so the moon day is on Mondays. Uh, and the crazy thing was, because we were just doing some homework in magic class to make talismans with magic squares, and I was like, "Oh, this is perfect. I'm gonna line it up with the moon uh, on the moon hour of the day or night." Because it was a full moon on a Monday, and then the moon was in Cancer, which is what planet rules Cancer. So it was just, really good timing. But I was thinking too hard. I went and bought a silver Sharpie because it has to do with the metals, the elements. You want to align all that when you're doing that kind of work with the moon or any planet, like Mercury. I think Mars is iron. Uh, that's why they had swords are made out of iron for like when go to war and stuff like that because it's represented by Mars. Um, what else? Sun is gold, stuff like that. You just align all these aspects together. Um, the material energy of mothering and being emotionally nurtured the maternal energy of mothering and being emotional nurtured are very strong impulses with the moon. Another important lesson of the moon is self-nurturing and learning to be empowered in how we mother ourselves by recognizing and nurturing our emotional needs. Yeah, and you like any night you could put, a container of water outside and kind of charge it up with the moonlight, but it's more stronger in the 3 days or 3 nights of the full moon time and this charge up the water. You could use this water to cleanse your crystals. You can use it to put it in a spray bottle, kind of spray yourself to cleanse your aura field. use it in baths to have a better vibrational relaxation. Um, there's all kind of stuff. Use it in your foods, with your water you drink. It's just a more energized water, if that makes sense, from the energy, the light from the moon. And I'll go over the sun in another video, but this is the moon one, so we'll talk about that one in another video. When we understand the moon's lessons, we can mature the emotional aspects of us that our physical parents may not have been able to teach us healthily. If we take responsibility for our moon energies, we become emotionally masterful and move with powerful clarity and poise in our lives. Sorry. The moon is internally moving through a 28-day cycle from the dark of new moon where she is not visible in the night sky, all the way to the full moon where her light is so bright that everything is lit with a silver glow. The 28-day cycle is reflected with every sexual mature female's reproductive system on the planet, who has a 28-day menstrual or moon cycle where the lining of the uterus is built up each month, waxing moon to create a nest of life giving blood for a pregnancy. When pregnancy does not occur at the appointed and generally consistent time in the cycle, the lining is shed. The uterus is cleansed until the cycle begins again and repeats itself until menopause. The phases of the moon. And I'm reading off the Spirit Science Almanac of 2022, a guide to personal transformation. And pretty much all the moon aspects, they all pretty much look at them as the same, and they all use the moon. And I mean by that, like the culture, like Egypt, Europe, uh, you know, India, United States, all these places look at moon, and they all see it as being on Monday. And then Tuesday is Mars, Wednesday Mercury, Thursday is I believe Jupiter, Friday's Venus, Saturday Saturn, Sundays the Sun. And I'll make sure that's right, but I'm pretty sure that's correct. The moon changes astrological signs every 2 to 2.5 days and becomes critical in magical practice. The waxing and waning phases of the moon represent the proper times to additional manifestation work and verifying energetic intensities. So I'm going to repeat that. The waxing and waning phases of the moon represent the proper times to do an intentional manifestation work and verifying energetic intensities. I had to repeat it for myself too. Shit. The new moon. So the new moon's when you want to bring in new things, new manifestations, new ideas to play. So here's what spirit science has to say. The new moon occurs when our planet's shadow obstructs the sun's light from reflecting on the moon's surface. During this time, the moon appears completely dark. This time has traditionally been associated with being a time for us to set our new intentions and dark of our inner being. Because I believe that when there's a new moon, you can't see the moon. It's like it looks like it's gone. Like a baby growing in the darkness of the womb, we begin our preferences for the new creations we wish to bring at the dark of the moon and allow them to manifest when the moon has become ripe or full term. So by the time it goes through the waxing and wanings after the new moon and then gets to the full moon is when that intention should be illuminated or lightened up. You should see something progressing or happening. Uh, The transit that describes a new moon is called a conjunction. This is where the heavenly bodies appear to be on top of our are in union with each other. For example, a new moon is in conjunction between the sun and the moon on an astrology wheel, which invokes inner awareness within us. The sun and moon represent our inner and outer selves. When they are conjunct in a specific astrological sign, we are allowed to go within and experience energies instificate intensifications into what is welling up or hidden within us. This is a time for exploring the depths of our creative selves and understanding more deeply what is stirring and wanting to arise from within us in a creation in the world. So this is something like you pull out of the dark, something new that you create, new manifestations. The full moon. The full moon occurs at the end of the 28-day cycle. When the moon is fully visible in its reflection of the sun, the shadow of the earth is gone, and there is a complete visibility and reflection from the moon. So we conjure and create our intentions on the new moon, and we see them come to fullness and fruition when the moon becomes fully revealed and visible for all to see. You know, like I was saying, you start to see stuff happening from your intention you set for the new moon, and you water the seed, the idea from the waxing and wanings. But I'll describe here in a second which one to be more specific is for what. Uh, so we set the intention that our manifestations will come into the full view by the full moon. The full moon is also about experiencing specific energy and intensifications or illuminations. The full moon acts as a giant and energetic spotlight that illuminates the qualities of whatever astrological opposition between the sun and moon are taking place on the Pacific moon. I'm going to repeat that. The full moon acts as a giant energetic spotlight that illuminates the qualities of whatever astrological opposition between the sun and moon are taking place on the specific moon. And the opposition means that the sun and moon are directly across from one another on the zodiac wheel, creating a particular kind of tension between them. Whatever whatever sign the sun and moon are both in is amplified collectively, naturally within your astrology chart. There is much to be learned when we open ourselves to the nature of the energies expressed by the current astrological sun season and the inner illumination of the moon sign. This is where the sun and the moon work together powerfully to give us opportunities to grow through awareness and energetic experience. My sun and moon conjunct in Cancer. So, so if you want to start using the wheel more, whenever you can use a website. I actually use what's it called? AstroSeek horoscopes, and it tells you like every day what planet is in what sign. And from that you could say, okay, my I'm shining this today. Once you learn the houses, like each house means something, like personal, family, dreams, sex, intimacy, you know what I'm saying? Different things mean. So you see what you're illuminating at and see what you can reflect on and what's in your inner nature, what's in the dark, you know, uh stuff of that natures. Whatever sign. All right, okay. The waxing moon. The waxing moon. The waxing moon occurs from the new moon to the full moon. Each evening, the moon grows more visible as it approaches its fullness. This is traditionally a time to draw things you want towards you, just as the moon is building in its light each night. So after the new moon, the new moon, the waxing moon occurs, and it builds up. And this is where you build up and water your seed for the intention you had for the new moon. So just as the moon is building in its light each night, so too do we build on our intentions and desires of what we want to bring in our lives. If you are sensitive to the energies of the moon, you will notice that as there is a building of the brightness of the moon each night, there is equally a building of the energy leading up to the full moon. And I really been coming more and more aware of this, like the energies. Uh, I felt it strong this Monday. I'm telling you. I was doing great until I started meditating. Therefore, it becomes why, and that kind of sounds backwards, but yeah, I just had this strong breakthrough and realization that just shattered my reality. Therefore, it becomes wise to know what you feel stirring in you at this time to work with and engage this energy. It is speaking to you about what you are building up to manifest, and that can include both what you wish to create and that which you don't want to create consciously, but are still drawing to yourself from a subconscious or unaware state. As the energy builds, so too should your awareness, as the full moons are traditionally known as times of heightened awareness, emotions, thoughts, and all manner of experiences. If we allow ourselves the time to integrate the intensities, we can ride them like a wave instead of being carried away by them or energetically tumbled, aka pay attention to the signs and what phases of the moon are going on and what moon or what sign the moon is in or what moon is in the sign, whatever way you want to say it. If the waning moon, the moon's waning phase occurs after the full moon has passed and slowly begins to move back into the shadow of the earth each night as it grows less and less visible. This becomes when we banish or release work to send away those energies that are no longer serving us or not a positive influence in our lives. Just as there's a building up with the energies to be illuminated, there's a winding down and shedding away the intensity. So the waning moon is when you want to get rid of something, you know. You would use this energy to get rid of stuff like uh, a bad habit or something like that, you know. You use these intention for that. So this happens after the full moon, the waning moon. This allows us the opportunity to feel the transient nature of lunar tides and how our emotional and mental nature can shift dramatically. When influenced by these forces, as we learn to become sensitive to the ebbing lunar energies, we come back to a more natural center, which can help us center ourselves for the next big lunary show. During this time, we can practice gratitude for the lessening of those intensities and understand more deeply about who we intrinsically are. The moon in astrology. The zodiac in which the moon rests when you are born takes a similar kind of snapshot or imprint as the sun does. However, when the snapshot the sun takes is of your external personality blueprint, the snapshot that the moon takes is of our internal instinctual emotional nature blueprint. This is the part of us that no one sees unless they get to know us. This is also the part of us that we get to know if we learn to honor and listen to our feeling nature. If we embrace the wisdom of our moon sign, we know how to acknowledge our emotional needs and intuitive promptings. If we do not, we remain disconnected and unable to validate what we need and feel, and thus search for emotional fulfillment in all places other than the one it can be found. When connected to our moon, we become aware of our more severe and subconscious reactions to things and our fears and how we react to them. If we are not mindful, then we are unconsciously ruled by these fears and reactions. The moon teaches us to remother ourselves by becoming the caretakers of our inner needs, impulses, and feelings. Just like in sun signs astrology, it's not only where the moon was when you were born that is significant. Anytime the moon is traveling through the zodiac each month, the signs that it shines through influence our moods and feelings towards that house. That was my part. It doesn't say that, but whenever the moon goes, because it changes every two, I think, or 3 days, goes to a different sign. So whatever moon is in that sign, it illuminates that house. You know, this becomes particularly strong on the new moon and the full moon as well. All the all of the information provided below will give you a better sense of what energies to expect and work with depending on the moon's energies that are prominent on any given day or night. So they got I might go over this, you know, but I don't want to reveal the book too much to y'all because, you know, y'all got to buy the book. A little dragon. So When it comes to the moon phases or signs regarding using this almanac, it becomes helpful to get a sense of what energies a particular moon event is amplifying. The more you understand the moon's energies through the zodiac signs, the more insight the knowledge will give you into the lunar climate at work, collectivity, and with you. It is important to remember that the information applies to your own moon placement and what sign the moon is moving through at any given moment. So, yeah. And I got some new stuff coming on the community. Some new events. I have somebody from the UK that's gonna help me host a tarot event soon. We're setting that up now, and I have a buddy from South Africa that helped me event or create an event called Indaba, which means stories in Zulu. And this is an event in my community that's going to be for people like we can go over some of our favorite books, do some book reviews. If you journal, if there's things you want to be known, we could talk about that. If you want it, if you want it to be known, or if you want to shed some light on it, or if you want to get light shed on it, if you don't really see the light, like the illumination of it, it's in the dark, it's in the new moon, it's ready to see new things. Uh, so yeah, that and what else? I'm trying to figure out new times for everybody to get in there because I know people work and stuff like that. And I am recording them now in case you can't make them. You can always go back and catch up on some of the gems that the members drop in the community. Um, what else? What else? 'Cause I know we got some new stuff going on. Oh, and by the way, I still have that tapestry. I'm giving away a bigger version of that one back there. Just send, if you're in the community or if you could just send 3 people to the community, I'll send that tapestry to you. Um, yeah, I think that's it. Groups. Oh yeah, so I got so the dude from South Africa, he's gonna help me host the Indaba, and he's actually gonna help me host something else, but I'm gonna keep that on the down low for right now because it's something I'm gonna be talking about later. Um, and the person from UK is gonna help me host the tarot. Oh, so we're gonna do 2 events for the tarot thing. There's gonna be one that's free and one that's paid. One that's free, and we're still going over everything, but the one that's free, we're gonna kind of go over the history of it, the different layouts, how we can use it for divination and how we can have fun for it. And then there's gonna be another one where we go out into breakout rooms and get kind of our own like privacy readings and teachings and stuff like that. So we'll have that. And eventually in the future, there'll be a money course. And right now in the Zisru circles, we're going over principles to grow rich slowly. But later in the circles, we're going to go over deep into it. But I bring a little aspect of the Think and Grow Rich from Napoleon Hill into it uh, every once in a while so we can keep that mind state, a prosperity consciousness. Um, so yeah, and I think next video I'm either want to go over the sun or I'm gonna go over some stuff about the wand that I want to talk about. Oh yeah, I got something for y'all. I'll give y'all a little spell, or I don't know if I should call it a spell. I don't know what it is, but a oil that you can make to anoint stuff that will give it magical abilities. And I'll tell y'all what it does, what it is, how to do it, and so forth. And this is some sun oil. How you got the moon water, you can make oil with the sun. And I guess I can go over that next video. That's what I'll talk about, the wands, and I'll give y'all the secret the secret ingredients that I ran across. Thank y'all for tuning in. Catch y'all later. Oh, and so I have a GoFundMe account below. and the link to my community. And the GoFundMe account is just if you know you support the community and you want to see it grow or build, because all that money is going towards equipment and editors and moderators and stuff of that matter. Because I built all this from scratch and by myself, but I am getting a team together and it is coming. So yeah, thank y'all. Have a good day or night.